What's going on, 5-9 gamers? My name is JoeWags, here to bring you a follow-up video on the 300 gem cap limit, the 300k gem cap limit on Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia. So there's a couple of things that happened. They released the message a few days ago saying that the gem limit has been postponed. We intentionally here at 5-9 wanted to wait a couple of days because we knew there was a community stream coming up. We kind of wanted to see how things would settle in. What kind of was talked about at the community stream, things like that. So now that I kind of have all the info in, heard a little bit of community reaction, things like that, now we can go ahead and cover it here over on 5-9. So the first thing, for those of you that are not familiar with the situation, I'll just recap it really quick. Basically, in the game Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia, Square Enix said we are going to implement a 300 paid gem cap limit, 300k gems. And there are a lot of players that have actually reached that point because the game is so generous with materials. They're so generous with like tickets and things that they give you to summon, right? So this is a big problem because what they're saying is that players that are over this 300k gem limit will not be able to purchase any items that include gems in it until they go under that. This is a big problem because the whales that are in this area, they want to still buy bundles and things. That's what they're buying. They're not buying them for the gems. They have plenty of gems, but they want costume bundles. They want ignites, like weapon materials, things like that. They want weapon classes. They want the Mog Pass that helps like just make your gameplay experience better. Literally everything in the game is tied to gems. So what would happen with this 300k gem limit is, let's say you are a whale player or just a player that has a lot of gems, right? And let's say you have 400,000 paid gems and you have 400,000 free-to-play gems. They basically, what they're saying is that any gems you spend are going to come out of your free-to-play pool first. So a player would have to spend 400,000 free-to-play gems, then get their paid gems below 300,000 before they can buy a costume. So this whole situation has been absolutely kind of ridiculous. There's their effort, like what they're trying to do is they're trying to get players to lower their gem amount. Like that's clearly what they want you to do, but they're targeting the wrong players. They're targeting whales that they're already supporting the game, already spending money, and they're basically just cutting them off from spending money, which is not cost offensive. And the reason why us creators in the DFFOO community have been so vocal about this issue is because it's not because like we're being whiny about it or that we don't like what they're doing, whatever. It's ultimately we want the game to do well because we love the game, and we know that this is not a financially good thing for them to do, and we're trying to actually help them. So it's not like we're not their enemies, like we're their friends, like we're trying to help them. We want players to be able to spend money on the game, right? So that's kind of what this whole situation is. So things were getting really iffy in the community because literally there was like 3 weeks of silence, like nothing from Square Enix, games just going on like normal. Literally the gem cap was supposed to pop on March 22nd, which is what, today or tomorrow? Yeah, tomorrow. So literally the gem cap limit was going to go down tomorrow. The night I'm recording this video, I'm recording this on the 21st. The video will probably go up after that, obviously, right? So the gem cap literally was going to happen. And so we had a community stream tonight. And what everybody was worried about is like if they were just going to completely ignore it all the way, the community stream was going to be really ugly, right? So luckily what happened was a couple of days ago on March 18th, they did finally put out an in-game notice. And for one thing, it was just a breath of relief to get the notice. But then from what it says, there's kind of mixed reaction. So I'm going to go through the notice with you guys. And there is a little bit to break down and analyze here. I don't think it's like super straightforward, and I think there are a lot of different ways that this can go. So the notice says, thank you for playing Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia. After careful consideration, we have decided to temporarily postpone the implementation of the 300,000 purchase gems upper limit for the global version of Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia. This postponement will continue until an appropriate solution for the gem management is determined, at which the 300,000 purchase gems upper limit will be implemented alongside of it. Please note, however, that if we determine that an appropriate solution for the gem management is not possible, the 300,000 purchase gems upper limit will still be implemented regardless. We apologize for the confusion caused, and we thank you for our understanding. Okay, so what can we break down from this? What can we deduce from it? There's definitely some positive in this. There's definitely some negative in this, and there's definitely some unknown in this, right? The overall positive is that we have been noticed in the community, right? And that we know that they're not just ignoring it. So that just the fact that they are making a statement, regardless of what the statement is a positive. Within the community, I believe Mark from TCC, he started implementing the hashtag stop the cap. Once I noticed it and other YouTubers noticed it, we started really pressing that stop the cap. None of us have been like rude or mean about it. We're just getting the word out. And once again, we're trying to help the game. And so it's nice that they have noticed us. They pay attention to the community. And that's why Opera Omnia, part of why it's been such a good game, is they are really like in tune with the community. They really do like value our opinion of things. And that's why, one, this implementation initially was such a head scratcher because they've handled the game so well. And two, why they went 3 weeks of dead silent. Like, this is not like them. So finally to get this response, literally like a weight has been lifted off my soul, because just to know that they've acknowledged it, right? So let's go through the first little section here. So it says, the first section here says they are temporarily postponing it for the global version. So for those of you that don't know, this has already been implemented in the JP version. So it's not as simple as them right now saying, okay, I guess we just won't do it, because then they're going to have to undo it on the JP side or have the sides be unequal. So there's kind of still a piece there that's a little bit unknown in terms of that. It's not as clean as simple as saying, all right, I guess we just won't do it because JP already has it. And right now, I don't know like what I can talk to like JP players that live, in the global area, but I don't know really like how the actual JP community is handling this, like that actually live in Japan and play in Japan. Obviously they didn't have the reaction that we have had because it, successfully was implemented there, right? But over here we had a very strong reaction to it and we were able to get this postponement. So then it says the postponement is going to continue, right, until they can find an appropriate solution. So what this is telling me, and then it says at which point it will be implemented alongside the 300k gem limit. So this basically what it's saying here in these second two paragraphs is that in the last paragraph it says if we can't find a solution, then we're going to implement it anyways. And the first part says we're going to try to find a solution to go alongside of it. So what I'm gathering from this is the 300k gem limit is happening. Like, that's a thing. Like, it's going to happen, which to me is still bad. They're saying, yep, we're doing it no matter what. We're going to be stubborn about it. The positive that can come from this is they are looking into solutions. And my hope is that they really are getting feedback from the community on what that solution could be. I think if they're creative, maybe they can find a good solution that works for both sides. So a couple of examples we've thrown out there is, let's say they want to keep the 300 paid gem limit, right? A lot of these whales, they don't really care about the limit as long as, like, if they can just provide a way for them to spend their paid gems directly without having to go through their free gems, that's one thing. So like, do paid only banners, do paid gem things you can buy in the shop directly, right? If they can come out with a way to just allow the whales not just to like spend their gems down, but it's got to be to spend them down on things they actually want. We don't want people to feel like they're just throwing gems away. This is why we're so passionate about the way they were going to implement it. It was literally like, if you had 400,000, like I said in the beginning, let's say you had 400k free gems and then 400k paid, you're basically throwing away 400k paid gems. Because for those of you unfamiliar with the game, people like me, I have 80k paid right now, which isn't that much, and like the gem cap wouldn't be affecting me right now directly, but it does affect everyone if the game goes down, right? And I know that eventually with the way that I spend just buying a mog pass, a boss, or a costume, here and there, I'm gonna hit that cap at some point, right? So the fact that you would literally have to throw away gems, and for a player like me, I have like almost every weapon in the game. Like, new banners come out and there's like there'll be like 4 weapons out at a time, right, on 2 banners, and it'll be like one of the 4 I can maybe use, and then I pull it in like 20 tickets and I move on. I don't have to use gems sometimes, right? So it's like the whales want to spend their gems down. It's like, okay, Square Enix, you want us to get rid of our gems, that's fine, give us something to spend it on that we can actually use. Because if I've got almost every weapon in the game, the whales most certainly have every weapon in the game, right? So what are they going to be spending their gems on? They don't have anything to spend it on. So this idea that we're going to just throw our gems away for nothing is what people really find scummy and that we don't like, right? So they have to find a solution. I'm hoping, like I said, some way to directly use the pay gems. Another solution I threw out is why not release non-gem versions of all the bundles? So do a Mog Pass, do weapon glasses, do costumes, all the stuff that the whales want to buy without gems in it, and then lower the price a little bit. Because I would still feel scummy if they offer it for the same price, because then it's just like you're buying it and losing the gems, which some whales probably would still be fine with that. But for me, I feel like you have to at least lower the price so it doesn't seem so scummy. But yeah, so that's basically where we're at. So right now we're just in postponement until we hear something. Now, there's been kind of mixed reaction in the community, right? So some people are kind of, well, I think everybody would agree that we're happy that there was a response, right? I think that's fairly unanimous. We're all happy about that. But some people kind of see the stubbornness in this, right? That's like, all right, we're going to implement this thing no matter what, and they still don't like that. Some people aren't happy with that. Some people still aren't comfortable putting money into the game because they know that it's still coming. They may just decide not to come up with a solution, right? And this could just happen later. Some people are actually thinking they just did this to save face for the community stream, and then shortly after they think it's just going to get implemented. I mean, who knows? That could happen, right? Now, on the other side of things, there are some people that think maybe they're stubborn but don't want to lose the pride of saying, okay, you win. So the way that this is written out, saying that they're temporarily postponing it until they find a solution, that kind of leaves it open-ended. They didn't give a date. They didn't say, we're going to go until this date, and if we can't find a solution, we're going to. So what Square Enix could do is they literally could just be dead silent after this point, and then it just doesn't get implemented. So at this point, if they go dead silent on it, I maybe would be okay with that, as long as it means they're not implementing it. I just think they have to be willing to communicate along the way as they're working towards possible solutions. But if their plan is just to let the game temporarily be postponed, but it's like postponed indefinitely for the gem cap limit, then I'm good with that, right? I wouldn't like the uncertainty in the air, like without an announcement, like still thinking it could come at any time. I still think that maybe wouldn't be the best case scenario. So we'll have to wait and see what happens there. So I think overall, though, the community is pleased that something happened. And so now the next part we can talk about, because we had the community stream, right? That's the other piece that we have to talk about now. So the big fear with the community stream was that the chat was going to be really toxic. The chat was going to be mean to Joshua and Crystal, who are the community managers. By the way, they do a really great job. And people that are watching maybe that aren't familiar, the community managers have nothing to do with this decision. Like, their job is to bring us and present information, and they do a very good job. And us content creators have been doing a really good job of telling people, like, don't throw hate at them, saying don't throw hate during the community stream, like, just be respectful, get the message out, stop the cap, things like that, right? So before there was this message out, obviously people were actually saying, like, dude, they're gonna have to turn off chat, like, it's going to be so toxic in there, people are so upset, right? Luckily, they were smart to do this a few days before the community stream, right? So then people came in with a little bit more at ease, right? So then the community stream starts, and basically what we're looking for is, okay, how are people reacting? How is the stream going to go, right? As soon as the stream lights up, stop the cap is kind of going in the comments a little bit, a few people here and there, right? Nothing disrespectful, just a couple hashtags stop the caps, right? Other people chatting about normal stuff, things like that. Crystal, I think, had an audio issue, so that kind of like overtook everything right away. Her audio was muted, whatever. So that was kind of going on. But basically, they started getting in the first slide, and obviously there's a couple questions here and there, like, hey, Josh, talk about the cap. What's going on with the gem cap thing, right? Once again, nothing disrespectful. It was all pretty good. And right away, Joshua, just to acknowledge it, I think he was very smart to do this, by the way. He acknowledged it and said, I know people are asking about the gem cap limit. And he in a very politically correct way, or PC way, just said, please refer, for those of you that don't know, there was an in-game notice. The gem cap limit has been postponed, temporarily postponed. Please refer to the in-game notice about that. And then Josh continued to basically say that this is not a Q&A stream. So our purpose here is just to bring you content on the next month. So please know that that is going to be the purpose of this stream moving forward. But I felt like I wanted to at least acknowledge it. Otherwise, people would think that I'm ignoring it, and that would be kind of a negative spin. So I think that was very smart on Joshua to do that, just to right off the gate acknowledge it's there, say like, that's not my place to talk about it right now. We've released a statement. Please read the statement. And that's kind of where we're at. And then the stream basically proceeded as normal, like no issues. The comments were pretty good throughout. And they kept a positive vibe the whole time. And it felt good, to be honest, to just see that and have a normal stream, because honestly, these past 3 weeks, I've just felt so crummy about the game as much as I love it. And now it's kind of been a total turnaround. We've started to get some communication. We got the postponement. We know that they're listening. And then the way that I think Josh handled the stream, I think was very good. And I want to applaud the community. One, the content creators other than myself, Mark from the TCC, Broadway Saiyan, Simply Lost, Black Nero, like all these guys out there, like doing videos, right? And kind of spreading the word. But then I also want to applaud the community that attended the stream in the chat. They were very respectful about it. I feel like everything went really well. So I think things are on an upward trend for Opera Omnia. I'm feeling a lot better about it now. And let me know in the comments what you guys think about this whole thing. If you're involved in DFFOO, kind of what your thoughts are on the situation. Do you feel good about where we're at right now? Are you still worried about the 300k gem cap limit? Do you feel like Squex is just going to like ignore it now and just let it go away? Let me know how you guys feel things are going right now in Opera Omnia. And just know, guys, that as things develop, if we get more updates, I will be sure to bring you guys updates over here on 5.9. So anyways, thanks for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, check out 5.9 on all their platforms. My name's been JoeWags. Feel free to check out my channel as well. Thanks for watching. We'll catch y'all on the next one.